Okay, so a bit of an intro is due here with this video. And what this was supposed to be, or what I wanted it to be, was a tutorial of the DAW software called MusE for Linux, or MusE Sequencer. And not to be confused with MuseScore, which is a different piece of software for composing music, scoring music, notation. MusE is more of a traditional DAW, kind of a MIDI sequencer, audio sequencer, similar to Rose Garden and Q Tractor. And you can see a screenshot of it right here. And what I wanted to do was review this software. So first I installed it through the package manager apt, and it's kind of an old version that they have in the Ubuntu repository, and it doesn't recognize the newest version of Jack and gives an error. It'll start up, but it just doesn't run. It doesn't connect to the Jack audio connection kit, which is a problem. And so what I wanted to do after that, or what I thought I would do, was download and install the most current version and just basically build it from source. And that's what I did. And you're about to, what happened is, like, I started doing it, and then I was like, well, maybe I should record a video of this. So you kind of catch me in the middle of starting to build the software here. But I got most of it, and I just wanted to record this little intro so you knew what was going on before you actually started watching this video. But, okay, I'll just leave it at that. And to make a long story short, it doesn't work. But it builds correctly, but there's still problems. But you'll see all of that in the video. But it is, I still think, a useful video because it shows you basically how to build some software from source. And it does build correctly. There's still just a bug in the software that makes it not function. But you can at least see how it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up and show you the rest of the video now. Okay, so I already did the first part of this. Let's go ahead and look at this README here. This is for MusE 3.0.2, the latest version. And I already installed Qt development files, and the command to do that is just right here in the README file. After you download, that'll be in the downloaded folder. And sorry I wasn't recording when I did that, but that part's easy enough. And so now what I'm doing is trying to get through the rest of these requirements to build this software. So the next one here is GCC, which I already have. That's installed on 1804, I believe by default. I don't think I installed it. I think it was already there when I installed. And next is lib sound file, or lib sound file. This one I just did a search, and I came up here. I just apt searched, and then I see this lib sound file 1-dev, and that most likely is that. A lot of times when you see something like this where it says development files, that means you're going to need the one that's -dev. Now, I'm not sure about the lib sound file 1 as opposed to just regular old lib sound file, but it does say 1.0.1, so I'm assuming that that's correct. So let's go ahead and install that one. So yes. Okay, and then after that, we're going to look for this lib sampler rate, or sample rate development file. So let's search that. Apt search. And then dev. And yeah, there we go. It's lib sample rate 1, and they have 0.1.0 as their development files. And what do we have here? 0.1.4 or 0.3. So that should work, I think. And then there's, we also have this one, 0.1.9. Wait, is that different? Okay, so that's lib sample rate 0. And this one's lib sample rate, or no, that's just lib sample. Okay, so it's probably this one down here. All right, so let's go ahead and install that. See, this is the thing when you're doing, when you're trying to build something from source, you have to be a bit of a detective sometimes to figure out what packages they're actually talking about. for the requirements. Sometimes people list them. Sometimes people list them very clearly, and it's super easy. Other times you kind of have to search around before you'll figure out exactly what you need to build the software from source. And the reason why I'm building this one from source anyways, well, I might go back and edit it into the video, but when I download from the Ubuntu repositories, MusE is a very old version, and it's not compatible with Jack 2. The only way to get it to work is to install the old version of Jack, which I'm not going to do because that'll mess up everything else on my system. And so I'm doing this, or I'm going to try to do this, because I wanted to check this out again. It's been a long time since I've tried it, and I always thought it had potential, but the old version that I tried kept crashing, so I just kind of, you know, figured I'd take a break from it and let the developers work on it for a while and get back to it. So we already have Jack, so that should be good. And then LADSPA, I think we already have, but let me make sure the dev files are installed. So let's do apt DSPA. And let's see what we have here. Now there is sample tools for Linux audio dev plugin architecture, LADSPA-SDK. Interesting. There's LV2-dev. Let me try, I'm just going to try to type it in there. See what happens. Okay, so we don't have that. LADSPA.h. That's not going to be it. Let's try this. That's not what I was trying to search. I don't edit out my idiotic mistakes because it's good to see. I think it's good for people to see these. Yeah, again, another stupid mistake. Talking at the same times too kind of makes me do more dumb things than I would do if I were by myself. Alright, let's see. LAD, SPA. Now see, I'm not sure what this OCAML is. But I don't think that's what I want. Alright, well, let's check out the website. Maybe I can... Sometimes this leads to having to download some other source code and build that, which is what I was afraid of, but sometimes that happens. So plugin libraries, let's see. Now I'm wondering if I installed the SDK, if that would do it. I'm going to try that, because I'm thinking maybe that's it. Okay, I'm going to try installing that. So sudo apt install LADSPA -SDK, and maybe this should give me the required development files. Alright, so let's see what's in the optional section down here. Also, we already have Fluid Synth, instrument patch library. I'm not sure what that is, but that's part of the Swami project, so I probably already have that. RT Audio, I believe I have that already. Okay, so there's LV2. Let's go ahead and install that to LV2. It was LV2-dev. This will give me LV2 support, which is another plugin format if you didn't know. Okay, and I believe I already have CMake. Yes, I do, but if you don't, you should install that. DSSI, I already have that. Flash, Python. Okay, so quick build instructions. Okay, so we're going to try to do what it's saying here. So sudo apt-get install build essential cmake libsound file dev. Oh, okay, it's telling me everything that I need to install here. So let's just make sure I have all of that. Yes, I did already install all of that, so libjack2, okay, I don't think I have that. And there's, okay, so it was LADSPA SDK. I may need to reinstall some of these, so let's go ahead and just run this whole block of text here. It'll tell me the stuff that I already have installed, so let's just paste that there. Alright, so what did I miss? Libsound 2. There's a bunch of crap in there. So let's go ahead and press yes on that. Let all of that stuff install. Hopefully I'm not breaking anything else in the process of doing this, because sometimes there's a risk of doing that, but I don't have any weird repositories activated or any outside sources or PPAs or anything like that, so I run little risk of doing that. That's one of the reasons why I like to stay in vanilla Ubuntu and not change things too much, because when you start changing package sources and stuff, it tends to be when you break your system. So it's almost better to build from source than to do that, in my experience. Okay, which can be a bit of a pain, as you're seeing, but that's why I wanted to record this while I was doing it. I was just going to wait till I got it installed and then do the tutorial like that, but I was like, I should be showing this, you know, because this is a pretty complicated setup here. So anyway, we got all that set up. Now let's try... I already downloaded it, so I don't think I need to use GitHub to clone it. So let's just go ahead and see where it is. I think it's a zip file, though. Maybe I will just GitHub it. Let's do that. Let's just follow the instructions. Okay, so let's do git clone. And let's just copy that out of there, so I don't have to type it all. Okay, so that's downloading it. And then let's CD into MusE. Oops. Alright, so there's all the files again. And then we're going to do the compile script there, which is just // compile. Press enter, see what happens. Hopefully we don't get any errors. And this can take a while sometimes, just so you know. If it takes like insanely long, I'll just edit the video. But it is good to see this stuff because you can see, like, if it fails on something, you'll see where it fails. But we are only at 5%, so this could take quite a while. And if you've never built something from source in Linux, I highly recommend you try it. And this could be a good one to start with because it helps you learn about, you know, how this stuff works. And it's kind of fun, you know, especially when you get it to work. You know, it almost feels like you solved some great puzzle or something, you know, because like some of them are just so complicated to get built because all of the, you know, documentation can be scattered about and not very clear. And, you know, I'm not criticizing the people doing it. It's just sometimes, you know, sometimes somebody who programs for a living, this stuff is very easy to them and they'll leave out vital information that like people like me and you just won't know about because they'll just assume everybody else already knows it. You know, but I've done it a few times now, so I'm starting to get better at it. And it's still going. Haven't run into an error yet, but we are at only 16%. 17%. Oh, it's really cooking now. While that's doing that, I guess now is as good a time as any to talk about my Patreon page, which is just patreon.com/Linux Music Studio. And if you find these tutorials helpful and entertaining, or both, or one, or whatever, go check that out. And if you can donate any amount there, $1, you know, $2, $3, $4, $5, $100. Whatever you want to do, whatever you can afford. You know, it helps me out. And it helps me to make more of these tutorials. And sorry, I was a bit distracted there. But yeah, like Patreon page. You can also check out the website, which is linuxmusicstudio.com. And I post a lot of these videos up there, as well as videos from other YouTubers who are working on Linux and creating tutorials and stuff that I think is helpful. So there's a lot of stuff there. I also write some articles when I get some time. And we're only at 39% now. I think I'm going to pause this video for a little while, and I'll unpause it when this completes. Okay, so we're at 96% now. And it's almost done. Keep your fingers crossed. Still no errors. I'm just wondering if I actually had my microphone down in front of my mouth on the last video. I hope so. Not sure if you can hear my background music, but I don't think it's too loud, so it's actually what I'm listening to in the background. Okay, so build was okay. Now enter the build directory and run make install as root. So let's try that. Let's go cd build. Okay, and then let's do sudo make install. Oh wait, before I do that, actually, I want to open up a new tab and remove the crappy old version. So, or not crappy, just the old version. Alright, so we're getting rid of that, so that way there's no confusion later on. Alright, so the old version has been removed. Let's go back to this directory and then execute sudo make install. Cross your fingers, and it seems to have worked. So, let's see if I can just run it by typing MusE3, like it says. MusE3. Okay, let's see if it gives me the same jack error. Now, I don't know what that is. Invalid pointer. And so far, nothing's happening. Okay, I'm wondering if it has to do with that failed to load module, Canberra GTK module. That may be part of the problem. Okay, I'm going to force quit that. And let me try to install that. Yeah, see, I don't think this is to be found at all. Canberra. Alright, let's search it. Oh, there we go. So sudo apt install lib Canberra GTK3 module. Okay, already newest version. So let's try what? Oh, it wasn't GTK3, was it? It was just GTK module. So let's try that. There we go. Let's see if that fixes the problem. Alright, I see something back there. Okay, core dumped. Let's try it again. Nada. Denormal protection enabled. Don't know what that means. Using jack. Okay, so Y-Synth failed. Let's look for Y-Synth. Okay, sudo apt install. Already the newest version. So, why is it giving me that issue? See, this is the kind of thing where you're building from source, you just never know. I may want to log out and log back in. Sometimes that'll fix it, or it might even reboot my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and save this video. Okay, so I just rebooted, and now I'm going to go ahead and try it again. We'll see what happens. So let's just do MusE3 again. Now, same thing. There's definitely something weird going on with the graphics here. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it has to do with the Y-Synth plugin. And it's weird that MusE is still there too, because I uninstalled MusE, so it shouldn't be there. What happens when I just run that? Yeah, see, it's not there. A little bit at a loss as to what could be happening here. Try it one more time. Nope. So you can see the window, the splash screen starts to open there. Maybe it is the Y synth. What if I uninstall it? Alright, so we got rid of that. Alright, let's try to run it now. Nope. Invalid pointer. So that's strange. Alright, I'm going to have to use the Google to see if I can figure out what that means. Pause it again. Alright, so invalid pointer appears to be a bug. And a pretty common one at that. But it doesn't seem like that, you know, the build didn't go bad. So it seems like it's a coding error or there's something wrong in the actual source code. And it could be that I'm running this on 18.04. And maybe they only tested it on 16.04 or something. Which is possible. That's pretty common these days. Or not common, but there's a lot of, you know, stuff that still only runs on 16.04 as opposed to 18.04. So I'm not having any luck with MusE. I didn't have much luck with it the last time I tried it either, which was about 3 years ago. I was able to record one song on it, but it took me forever because it kept crashing so much. And basically the developer, I'm sorry, his name is slipping my memory at the moment, but he was able to help me basically fix some configuration files to where I could at least get it running enough to get my song out of there. And it's actually on one of my albums. It's the song Faltermeyer's Ferrari, and I'll link that in this video too so you can take a listen to it. It actually came out really, really good, surprisingly, but it was a huge pain to get it to work. But that doesn't seem to be working, so I'm not having much luck with MusE right now. I'm going to try, before I stop this video, I'm going to try just installing the package maintainers version again one more time. And maybe installing all that crap that we had to install to get the source to build. Maybe somehow that'll fix the version that comes in the Ubuntu repositories, but I doubt it. But maybe, you never know. This version would open, but it wouldn't recognize Jack correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and install it again, and we'll try it. Give it one more shot. Maybe it'll work. You can see it is quite old. It's 2.1.23, and MusE is now on version 3. So, but let's go ahead and start it. See what happens. And core dumped. That would happen sometimes though before, and then I'd try it again, and it would start. So there it goes. It's actually starting. But yeah, I'm still getting the same error about Jack, which is, let me get rid of that. Let's see, it won't even let it do that. It's this here. Jack has detected a performance problem, which has led to MusE being disconnected. This could happen due to a number of reasons, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, not having much luck with MusE. I'd like to try it. I mean, I can show you kind of what it looks like here. Let's close that. And the weird thing is well, now it's not even, before the other, you know, at least the readable client was showing up, but now that's not even showing up. But before it only had the readable client, not the writable client. But now neither of them's showing up there. But, you know, it's kind of like, almost looks like a cross between Rose Garden and Q-Tractor. So it seems like a pretty nice piece of software. And I think it just froze on me. Let's go to view. And let's go to mixer. Yeah, so it's got some, you know, pretty standard looking DAW type things. You got your outputs, and yeah, it's definitely not working right. But geez, that really is a shame. I'd really like to get MusE 3 working so I could give it a review. Oh. Well, how about that? Look. But it's still the same issue. Same problem. And is this even MusE 3? Looks the same. Oops, I went to About QT. So no, it's still 2.2 or 2.1.2. How is that possible? Did I type MusE 3? Oh no, I didn't. That's why. Okay, MusE 3. Nope, still invalid pointer. And sorry, MusE, no luck. And I want to give you a positive review, but for the time being, I can't, because I can't even get it to work, which is kind of frustrating. So anyway, this is at least on 18.04. If you've had better luck with MusE and like it or have an opinion about it, let me know. I do think it's, it's probably has some potential, but I would love to see this, working with the newest version of Jack and the newest version of Ubuntu. But until then, I'm going to have to take another break from MusE. So anyway, if you like this video and you want to see more like this, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Linux Music Studio, and be sure to subscribe, click the like button, as well as the bell symbol down there, and see you guys next time. Have a great night.